Hi, this is Ken Womack, and you're listening to the Two Legs Podcast, your home away from home when it comes to all of your Paul McCartney needs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Two Legs. We are a Paul McCartney podcast, mainly dealing with the solo career of Paul McCartney, and I'm one of your two co-hosts, Andy Nichols. Joining me today is the co-founder of Two Legs, Tom Hunyadi. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Andy. See, sometimes we get tongue-tied. We're just laughing because of whatever, but but how you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And here we are back. Fall is just about fully in the air, and here we are ready to do another episode where we tackle a pretty cool topic that a lot of McCartney fans love to chew the fat on, and that's, most divided albums among the fan base. And you've picked one, and I've picked one, and we're going to discuss why we chose them. Just to recap the week here in review, and it was a big week in Beatles world again with the announcement of the Living in the Material World anniversary box set. Super Deluxe box set is out there. The announcement came out on Thursday. We heard rumblings on Wednesday. And of course, we all locked in with our Super Deluxe pre-orders and colored vinyl and t-shirts. So that is a welcome addition too. I listened to it today. That'll be a nice addition. Tom, I know you got it too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Went for the box set, the LP, CD, Blu-ray combo. Looking forward to it. I mean, and what a change, right? Contrast of, this big, crate. And then now we're just down to a little, two CD if you want that, but that's fine. I mean, here we are, a number one album with a number one song. Right. I mean, it's a popular record. I think people really like it. I know people like you and Mitch Axelrod have said they appreciate it more. More now, the older they get. I guess. I mean, I can see how, like, if you're younger, and you're listening to this album and you're just like, shrugging yourself. Where's Wah Wah, or
there's not a lot of rockers on here. It's solemn, it's spiritual. There's a lot of deep tracks on here, which I guess when you're a 20-something-year-old Beatle fan, they're not going to grab you as much as the hit will. But as I've gotten older, man, I appreciate it a hell of a lot more now, and I know Ken Michaels is happy, and Beatley Tone did a great breakdown of all those variants that are available for us, and I think for $174.99, $174.98 is the price from GH.com, which is where I got it from. Tom, is that where you got it from too, or not?
Yeah, same here. I got it from GH.com. I don't know where they ship from yet because I just don't remember where the crate shipped from. However, it is up on sale now on Amazon, so you can get it there as well. So, but they also got the creamy or the milky, however, vinyl, that translucent vinyl. So there's an Amazon exclusive vinyl as well.
Oh, there's an Amazon.
And that purple one.
The Amazon exclusive is okay, and the purple one is on the George, is exclusive to the George site. Yeah.
Correct. And that one's very tempting. Let me tell you.
You didn't grab that one?
Very tempting. Not yet, but if it's still available in the coming weeks, I might do that. But listen, you went to go. You, the MVP, and another friend went to go see ELO. Or wait, go ahead.
I was just to finish up the Harrison stuff. Only 5,000 of these being made. Only 5,000, right?
Listen, it's yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was yesterday. I went on there and it sold out. Apparently now they took more probably from another location, the UK or whatnot, and they put it back on the US. So I haven't checked recently to see if it's sold out or not again, but it's going to sell. This one is good. This is good.
It's a seller, and it's not gonna cost you 3 mortgages to get it, unlike the crate. So it should sell well. It's a popular album. The marketing of it was good. You've got that Take 18 that's dropped already. I'm looking forward to it. I know that some people felt that It was a little skimpy on the bonus tracks with only really with a a remix and one disc of bonus tracks. But with one album, how many are you going to get now?
Yeah.
If you look, there's like take 93 of Be Here Now. So I mean, unless they went the way of the Lenkamp, where they gave you multi versions of the song, multiple takes of the song.
Right.
Harrison Camp isn't doing it that way, and I appreciate that. Just give us the best of the outtakes, and I'll be happy with the vinyl and the CD.
Yeah, and plus with that box set, you're getting an exclusive 7-inch single of "Sunshine Light for Me" with the George Harrison God vocal, which I'm really looking forward to.
But continue. You go back to where you were introing the
Yeah,
show.
but sorry about that. But you and MVP and other friends saw ELO, and you gave it a glowing review. Every review that I've seen has been giving it favorable reviews. I cannot wait. My show is on October 9th.
Yeah.
My uncle and I we're gonna go down to Little Caesars Arena and check it out. Let everybody know again if they haven't watched your review. I mean, your quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, it was a quick show, hour and 45 minutes, not even, just about 2 hours, 20 songs, start to finish. Not much interaction, but I mean, the songs are all the songs you want to hear, played the way that you know them from the radio. I mean, and that's Jeff Lynne, who was the consummate perfectionist. He's not gonna entertain the crowd like a Bruce Springsteen or a Paul, and really have a lot of banter. He's playing the songs because that's what he does, and hit after hit after hit after hit. It was a couple of songs were swapped out at the beginning of the tour. I guess maybe due to his health. Twilight was in there for a while, and that got dropped. I was bummed to just not see that, and a couple other ones. But I mean, all the big ones are there, and
right.
It was a great show, and other than being really in Radio City in 2016, and then seeing him in really like in the fifth row in 2019, but to see him in Madison Square Garden, the most iconic arena in New York and historic venue in a pretty good location after that free seat upgrade was a home run.
Yeah, that free upgrade. I mean, what happened? I mean, you guys just arrived at your seats and the sun.
No, we had just stopped. Honestly, I had just stopped to use the bathroom. Okay. And we all took turns.
Right.
And then while I was waiting for the MVP to come out, I was sitting there with my friend Jared. And the guy, I was sitting like next to like one of those like windows where like an employee of the venue sits. And he goes, "Where are you guys sitting?" I said, 108 or 222. He goes, "How many? 4?" I said, 3. And he goes, "Here you go, 108. Enjoy the show. Free." Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. So that was awesome. And it was both their first time seeing. Yeah, great. You'll have a great time. You'll have a great time, and the merch. The merch is nice, and I got that red, white, and red ELO shirt. There's plenty of shirts you can get there, and that you'll be able to pick from their partner when you go with your uncle in October.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, Little Caesars Arena. I don't remember what I said, but it's the arena's called Little Caesars, and really looking forward to
Little
the
Caesars
show.
Arena. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Did I say Joe Louis Arena?
I was gonna say, is it the old Joe Louis? Is it the old Joe Louis?
No,
Arena,
no. I listen. I haven't lived in Michigan in 19 years. I don't know what they did and what they changed.
Okay.
A lot of times, the arenas, all the arenas in Arizona, they were changing their names like every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So,
it happens.
Yeah.
But what a way to
Caesars.
go out. Yeah, way to go out for an iconic guy who just is awesome, and his connection to the Beatles notwithstanding. I mean, we couldn't miss an opportunity to go to that. So.
I agreed. I mean, listen, you got to see him all 3 times. I mean, ELO is another one of your favorite bands. So glad you got to go.
Yep, and you will have a great time. So that's your next concert on the calendar for you, right?
Yes. October, and then in November, I've got a singer whose name is Morrissey. I don't know if you're familiar with Morrissey.
I've heard of
Morrissey and the Smiths from the '80s. One of my favorite bands from the '80s. So he's coming to Michigan. This will be my 4th time seeing him live. So excited about that.
Nice. So, the topic at hand today, the most divided albums in the McCartney canon that really divide the fan base. Tom and I talked during the week when we were preparing this show, and there's a good handful, we think, that do divide the fan base for sure, from the 70s all the way to probably the present day. So, we came up with a list about 5 or 6. We both picked one tonight each. And they're not the same pick because we know it's not. We figured that out beforehand. I don't know what Tom's picking, and he doesn't know what I'm picking, but we know it's not the same. So,
Right.
and I think a lot of these albums probably generally tend to happen in the 80s into the 2000s, but, there might be a handful that might divide the fan base in the 70s. And,
I think so too.
All depends on where you came in. Again, as Kozin and Sinclair write, a lot of what is affecting Paul's personal life works its way into the music. And you hear that in so much of his music, whether it's Dear Friend on Wildlife, or a track on Driving Rain, or a track on Chaos, or Band on the Run. It just, it's going to affect his writing. And that sometimes can be a good thing or a bad thing, based on your opinion of the music. Or or he's influenced by the sound of the era, or this, like on Press to Play and getting a Hugh Padgham in there to, give him a modern sound. These are things that really kind of divide the fan base, because Paul runs to these things too.
Right.
To stay current.
And you see it. I mean, ever since the creation of social media, and then the Facebook posts or the Instagram post, you see, what people are saying. You see, not every artist, every album is beloved by everyone. Maybe Led Zeppelin, I don't know, but anyways,
maybe.
Listen, you either love the album or you don't, or you hate the album. I mean, there's no in between really. So, the album I picked, I feel like the fan base is divided with this album, and obviously the one that you picked, you feel the same way, and we'll talk about it. But I guess I'll start.
Go ahead. Yeah. Which one did you go with first?
So, and then, yeah. So, and again, we're not reviewing these albums. We're just talking about why we feel that these albums are divided in the fan base. Okay, and the album I picked, all right, it was a number 2 record. Okay, it did go platinum, but it didn't do as well as the previous 5 albums. Okay, and it's London Town.
Oh, man.
Yes, I do feel that this record, there is a divide between the fan base with this record. I never see it in anybody's top 5. I know people love it. Look at you, me, we like this record, okay? And we're not talking about us. We're just talking about the fan base in general, okay? I never really hear this in anybody's top 5. Not everybody's top 10. It's usually always in the bottom half, maybe higher in the bottom half. But this is a record that I feel like, people, it's always in the middle of everybody's rankings. Okay, London Town. And then you just go. I mean, this album kind of almost doesn't know what it wants to be either, right? There's a lot of synth in there. There's a lot of folky stuff in there. You do have even the major hit, With a Little Luck. Our buddy Ted Montgomery, he swears that he can't stand with a little luck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even the hit, there's kind of a little division with the big hit. But even, like Girlfriend, a lot of people say they prefer the Michael Jackson version.
And they would be right, because it's better.
And I'm not saying that this is a bad album, because I think I had it in the middle. When we ranked all the albums, I think I kind of had it in the middle. I didn't go back and look, but songs like Children, you don't hear people talking about the song, right? Don't let it bring you down. Okay, I mean, yeah, he included it on Pierre McCartney's set, but this is a song that you don't hear people saying, "Oh my God, I got to hear that song." You know what I mean?
These are songs. These are songs that you listen to within the context of the album. If you put the album on,
right,
you're going to listen to the whole album. You may not just pull it out and say,
right,
"Oh, I got to hear Don't Let It Bring You Down." So
right.
It's an interesting choice.
And same thing, Morris Moose and the Grey Goose. I mean, we like that song again, but whenever we're talking about London Town or this era, you hear people say they don't like Morris Moose and the Grey Goose, right? Yes, With a Little Luck was number 1, but then the next 2 singles, I Had Enough in London Town, they were just minor hits that just barely got into the top 40. So like I said, I mean, even though it went platinum, it didn't continue the success of the previous 5 albums, including Wings Over America, which all went to number 1. And this kind of ended the streak of 4 albums in a row that went to number 1 and also had a number 1 single. So he got really close to having 5 in a row, really.
Well, there was an little album called Saturday Night Fever, which kind of kept everybody off with the charts there for a little while. And
Right.
well into 1978 when that album came out. It was released in March of '78, so it still did number one. London Town is Paul being a little more mature. He was just, his songwriting had changed a little bit. He was going for a more mellow mood overall. Yeah, you have a couple of you have a couple of really good rockers on there with "I've Had Enough" and "Name and Address" and a real funky
Name and Address. Right.
Warts and All song with "More Moose and the Grey Goose." But it's a low key melancholy album, and I think other than those 3 tracks, all those songs pretty much have that chill kind of vibe to it, folky, low key vacation, just relaxed vibe to it, which is what I've always been drawn to it. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it high on people's lists. I've seen it in the top 10. You go on those Macca boards and Hoffman forums. Plenty of people have this in their top 10, but few and far between.
But plenty of people. But plenty of people also have it in the lower half of his catalog as well. I mean, and there's good stuff on here. Listen, I love "Deliver Your Children." I think there are songs on here that people really do love, but the album as a whole, I don't really see too much mad love for London Town. And even good songs like "Backwards Traveler," your namesake, and
my namesake,
yes, the "Cafe on the Left Bank," great, with the great guitar work with Jimmy. These are just, again, songs that you don't hear a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, I mean, why isn't this on the like a Pierre McCartney or a albums like that?" So. Listen, again, I'm not saying that I like this album well enough, but I see a lot of divisiveness or however you want to say it with this album. So that's why I picked London Town.
Not a bad pick. I was surprised initially because we just by default go to like the ones that we like. We love London Town. You and I love London Town.
Yes.
But there's plenty of people that think that, he was already, he had had Wings was never going to be as big again, and he was riding off into the sunset. That's it.
Well,
most people, hardcore Paul people like London Town. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
You
agreed.
and me and 99% of our viewers and friends that watch our show love London Town. However, the average,
and it was
the average person
yes.
Beatle fan, Paul, casual fan, is not going to dive into London Town, so they're going to go, no. So the album is whatever. I get it.
Right. The casual fan, like I said, I mean, it didn't sell as much as the albums prior to, and then, obviously then this is the album where we lost two members of the band, so again,
early on,
it was back down to a
Band on the Run Part 2.
Piece. 2, yes.
Band on the Run Part 2.
So I mean, a good chunk of the album was recorded with all 5 members, but then there was a couple songs,
sure,
that were just the 3. But again, obviously we've got Mull of Kintyre, here during the same sessions, right? Because then Linda gets pregnant. So the plans, Paul did want to tour in '77, but those changed once Linda got pregnant.
Then they scaled it back.
Again, so yeah. So
I just think it's an album that most people think, McCartney's just going soft. He's just being low key here, and he's being very album orientated rock. That term AOR. That's just kind of what he was doing here. Especially with a song like "With a Little Luck," people might want to call it Muzak, even though Ted Montgomery hates it. But I mean, you and I love it because of the long synth solo. You need the synth solo. Yeah. You have to have it.
Oh, you gotta have this synth solo.
I do think I'm very curious if people out there who are watching our show, where does London Town? I mean, I've seen a lot of people praise London Town who watch our show and listen to our show.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's any dissenters out there who are just like, like to your point about being, whatever, like it's middle of the road. And then plenty of people might be. I just seem to recall a good chunk of our viewers do really hold. But again, they're like us. They're hardcore fans.
Well, that's our viewers. You're right. Those are our viewers, though. You know, if you also check out other Facebook pages or forums too, you'll see people that are just like, the casual fan. Like we said, the casual fan just wasn't into it. Yeah, they bought the 45 they made with a little luck on number one. Obviously that was the edited version, but still, the album as a whole, again, it's just in my opinion,
it does.
There is a division,
All right, now my turn.
Right. Yes.
And this one really, really divides the fans. Not does this one divide the fans. Oh, and that is, of course, none other than 2001's Driving Rain. Had to. This is safe. You want to call it a safe pick? You can call it a safe pick, maybe. I was thinking about other ones like Wildlife or Pipes of Peace or Press to Play, but this one here, I think, is the one that I don't see a lot of people anywhere saying Driving Rain is like top 5, top 10. Like I've seen people say about London Town. I don't see hardly anybody saying this is one of their go-to hardcore, top McCartney albums. And this is an album that you and I went gaga over in 2001 when it came out because we were so amped.
Absolutely.
We were so amped for a new Paul album, and we wore the hell out of it for a little while. And then 4 years later we got Chaos, and then 2 years later we got Memory Most Full, and we were like, okay, Driving what? These two albums are way better than that thing. So context is everything. This is right in the period where he was smitten with Heather Mills and all that crap going on. And so a lot of his songwriting was influenced. Double album, 80 minutes long, Rinse the Raindrops, which I know you love. I got this in 2001. This is an original from England. I can listen to a couple of tracks from it now, but by and large, as a whole, I don't think I can tell you the last time I listened to Driving Rain start to finish. Probably 2002. Right. I'll cherry pick some tracks. Your Loving Flame, which is one of my favorites of all time. I Do I think is great. But some of these, Back in the Sunshine's a great track. Spinning on an Axis, no. She's Given Up Talking, not really. Lonely Road's a good opener, but this is the album. I think it's universally pretty much like, I don't think so. Unless somebody out there really loves it. What say you, partner?
Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna dedicate a show just solely to reasons why we feel Driving Rain gets a bad rap. But thing is Driving Rain, we were all excited for it. We played the hell out of it. It is really easy to get buried within other great albums. A mediocre album can easily get buried in the musician's catalog when you have a great albums like Chaos and Creation, like Memory Almost Full, like Electric Arguments, like a New. These albums, they're great. People universally love them. And then these kind of like mediocre albums, they kind of just like fall by the wayside, even though we spend a lot of time with it, right? They just kind of get forgotten for whatever reason.
Because the quality of the writing on the other albums is that much better, which is why we go back to Memory Most Full. We go back to Electric Arguments. We go back to Chaos. Because those songs are more memorable and better. They're just better than this. It's bottom line.
Right.
I hate to say that because we were so excited. We were so excited for this in 2001. Driving Rain, and then a tour came out, but time again, and because thank God Paul has been so prolific since this period, releasing new material. We got it all. We got great album after great album after great album. So if this is one that kind of slides through the cracks and people forget, I don't think it's the end of the world. There's some beautiful tracks on here. Even the instrumental track, and I'm going to call it an instrumental, Heather. That's a great track. I know there's some lyrics in the end of it, but that's a great song. So the genius is still here on certain tracks, but it could have been trimmed.
Tracks.
It could have been trimmed.
Right. Well, and that's right, and we'll get into that
when we do that episode.
In a later episode,
we will.
We'll talk more about that. But the thing is it suffers because when in the CD era, musicians wanted to fill that CD, right? And then you find yourself getting more filler on those. And then he finally got a double LP, but only because he filled a CD. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
It wasn't prepared for LP. It was prepared for CD. And he
Right.
goes, I'm just going to stretch
Right.
it out to almost nearly 80 minutes, and that's it, and go with it.
Right.
So I think that's one. I mean, there's plenty of others out there. I mean, that definitely divide the fan base. Press to Play and Pipes of Peace are definitely two that definitely. I think those are more albums that really truly divide the fan base, right?
Yes,
Because some
yeah.
people really love them,
Right.
and then people are vocal about it. Ken Michaels loves Press to Play; it's his favorite McCartney album,
Right.
I think. No, I think
Yeah.
that's Flowers in the Dirt. Or is it Press to Play?
Well, yeah, Flowers in the Dirt is his favorite Paul record. He does like Press to Play a lot, though.
Right, but
Yeah.
you see a lot more chit chat on forums and social media on posts about Press to Play and Pipes of Peace than you do Driving Rain. Pretty much Driving Rain, everybody knows it, but that's an album that, as we look at that, when we do that episode, it'll be interesting to dive back into it. But some people, and again, I'm sure there are fans of Driving Rain out there. I know there's a couple of people
Yes.
out there that have chimed in on our shows who have said they love Driving Rain start to finish. So while it's not the number that we think it would be, but there are people that listen. There is a fan out there for every album that Paul has made, and he has said that he has said
Agreed.
as much.
Yeah.
He has said as much from McCartney to McCartney 3. What you think is absolute dog shit, somebody out there will absolutely love to bits. And those of you that love Driving Rain, speak on it and tell me why you like it. Tell us why you like it that much.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know in the comment section. What your feelings with London Town and Driving Rain? Do you think there's a divide in the McCartney fan base for those two albums? Don't say what other albums you think are, because we'll probably do another episode on this topic
For sure.
in the near future. But just let us know about London Town and Driving Rain. Where do you see those? Do you see a division in those two albums in McCartney's fan base? I tend to think that there's less favorable with Driving Rain than there is favorable. In my opinion. But again, fans are divided with. We think that the fans are divided with these two albums. So I mean, this is going to be a quick little episode.
We
here
can
today,
keep chatting a little bit.
we can
Have
keep-
you?
shoot
Well,
the
that's
shit.
just our quick take on the divisive albums. But the the Blaney book, the 1973 book. Have you started reading that at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I've finished doing the research for Paul George Part 3, which I sent the email out to you and Owen, and we got a recording date for that, and we'll get that episode out in October. So now that I'm done with that, now I can get in and and start tackling the new Blaney book. And have you started reading?
I am. I'm into chapter 2, which is February of '73. Every chapter is a month,
Okay.
so I'm in February of '73 right now, and I just love his breakdown and his attention to detail, especially the money. And we got to coordinate with John and try to get him on to talk about this, because the book doesn't come out until November, right?
Right.
Yeah, and we'd love to
So,
get him on there to talk about it at some point. But the detail right now, the part I was reading about was Klein stopping the Red and Blue album from coming out, in February, and the Alpha Omega, and John goes into all that detail, how a little record company in New Jersey started that whole thing, and how the copyright laws were kind of a loophole, and that's how they were able to put that package together. And then Klein sued all the radio stations and TV channels that promoted it, but there was a loophole that allowed him to do it. So all that amazing attention to detail, John Blaney goes over with a fine-tooth comb, and another stellar work by him. And I can't wait to read it. I try to read a little bit per day, and I'll probably have it done in a month or so, and then that'll get us ready for Legacy. When we get the Legacy Volume 2 book, baby.
You too. Looking
and,
forward to that. Yeah, listen, digging into that, and then also now available to pre-order is the Daytime Revolution Blu-ray. That
Thank
we
you,
can talk
David.
about. I think, Yes, thank you, David. I think that's now on Amazon. You can pre-order it there for $29.95. I'm sure that price will come down a little
No,
bit.
no theatrical release for that. Just straight to Blu-ray.
Not in Michigan. There is no theatrical, and plus plus it's showing on his birthday, which is the night I'm seeing ELO.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, there's got to be one in the
Yeah.
New York area then. I'm sure by me there's
Oh
going to be
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, just Google Daytime
Yeah.
Revolution showtimes, and I'm sure you'll find
A lot
something.
a lot of cinema
Yeah.
stuff here as we close out that. The 1-to-1
Yes.
and one hand clapping, which is this week. This
Well,
week.
this week,
I got
can't
one hand
wait.
clapping.
Thursday.
I got Ringo on Wednesday and one hand clapping on Thursday. Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times.
So,
And you're really hoping. Listen, I'm hoping too for you that Paul pops in, but I really think that he's probably in California rehearsing. But you
Yeah.
never know. Look, you never know.
Yeah. James Martinez sent me a video or an article about Paul being on stage and he was totally stoned with some comedian or
Yeah.
something out in LA.
This comedian, yeah, out in L.A. Yeah, that was a couple nights ago. Yeah.
We saw
the word on
that.
the street is that he was stoned. Yeah,
Oh my
it's like
God.
he's back to his old stoner ways.
Well-
Hey, this time you don't have to worry about getting arrested, I guess,
Like,
anymore.
yeah, no, that classic. Five of them came up illegal. When he was in Scotland, right? Back in '73 with the mullet.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So yeah, Ringo Wednesday and one hand clapping Thursday. We, depending on our timetables when we get out of the movie, we might do a little quick instant live recap of the film
Right.
on Thursday night on our channel. So look out for that. And then I'm going to see it again Sunday with a whole crew of people, which is growing by the week. It's myself, MVP, Kyle Hand and his fiancee Phoebe, Jim and Susan
Nice.
Ryan, and my friend Bob Davison, the mega Bob Dylan fan.
Nice.
So 7 of us all going into the city to see that on Sunday and to do some record shopping and grab a bite to eat afterwards. So two viewings of one hand clapping in 3 days. So busy.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy indeed. Busy indeed. And then we're getting into the holiday season as well. And like you said, I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that McCartney Legacy Volume 2. See what
And the year's not over, folks.
Adrian and Alan have. No, it's not. And keeping fingers crossed for a new record. I don't see why he's got to wait until 2025. I mean, if he's putting his finishing touches on there, like we learned last month, let's
Yep.
do it. Come on, December will be 4 years since McCartney 3. We're all ready.
That is so freaking scary to think about. It really is. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess the question is does he calm the amounts of color vinyls or color vinyl down? Does he scale it down compared to what McCartney 3 was? That'll be interesting to see if he does scale it back,
That
or if the
we'll
record
see.
companies scale it back.
if the record
a little
company
bit.
scales it back, that's the big
But
thing.
but he's a big act. He's a big act.
We're a big act. We're a big act. The Beatles, yeah. He can have 15. He can have 15. When he's talking about client's percentage, oh, that's so good. Well,
got
that'll wrap it up
15,
for this
yeah.
this quick one here today, folks. What is your most album you think that is divided among the Paul fan base out there from 1970 through the current day? There's a couple. You heard just our quick take on 2 of them today. Let us know in the comments. And look for us later in the week for a little instant recap of One Hand Clapping. And we will be back to do one more show to close out September next week at some point. Whether that could be a review of One Hand Clapping or another topic, we'll wait and see. We've got a couple ideas jotted down here for the next month or so. So stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. We're here, so we'll always be here for you guys and to give us our quick instant take on all things Macca all the time. So, for Tom, I'm Andy. We will see you next week. Enjoy One Hand Clapping. If you're going to Ringo,
Yes.
hopefully I'll see you guys there. And have a good week. And we'll see you next time.
listening to Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, hosted by Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols, with musical contributions by Dylan C.